Last week I started to predict from my gut feelings where all 30 teams in Major League Baseball will place for the 2018 season. As I said, I recorded the whole thing and realized it was too long, so I split it into American League and National League parts. And because it was also rather blurry, I decided to redo the National League part, which you will see now. Starting in the National League East, I do feel there is no contest. The Nationals are going to win the division outright. It remains to be seen whether they will advance anywhere in the playoffs, but that is a prediction for another day. The Mets and Phillies, last week you didn't see it, but I said that either one could be second or third, mainly because of their rotations. The Mets have a great starting five if they're healthy, which is a big if, and the Phillies have a fantastic 1-2 punch in Jake Arrieta and Aaron Nola, but their depth beyond that is a little iffy. However, the benefit of seeing some early games is you get an early read on how teams are doing, and while the Mets are off to a hot start, the Phillies have had some strange decisions by new manager Gabe Kapler. So I'm going to say the Mets will be in second and the Phillies will be in third, or close third, but third nevertheless. The Braves, I think, are starting well on their rebuild and are nearing the end of it. Ronald Acuna Jr. will come up this year, and if spring training was anything to be considered, he'll do well. The team this year, however, will be fourth. As for the Marlins, I'm going to make a bold prediction and say they will have the better record of the two Florida teams. Still does not mean they will finish out of fifth. Moving on to the National League Central, this is where I kind of really bucked the trend for some people, as I don't think the Cubs have as good a rotation as they did last year. Jake Arrieta was a solid, durable starter, something which Yu Darvish has some things to prove. As such, I feel the Cardinals, who have been slipping of the last few years, may have an opportunity to gain ground and win the Central, with the Cubs finishing second. Alternatively, I could also see the Milwaukee Brewers coming in and winning the division outright as well. The only problem is, while they have a fantastic lineup, their pitching leaves something to be desired, especially with some early injuries. As such, I'm going to say St. Louis first, Chicago second, and the Brewers third. As for the other two teams, Pittsburgh will be very solid, but a very solid fourth. And Cincinnati has nothing really going for it outside of Joey Votto and Eugenio Suarez, so fifth. And that leaves us with the National League West, where my prediction has a good chance of being completely awry. The Dodgers, I feel, will easily win the division this year, as they are just a juggernaut of a team. But behind that, there's some room to go with. My second place choice will be the Arizona Diamondbacks. I feel they are a very solid team. While they don't have J.D. Martinez, Steven Souza will provide some nice defense once he is healthy. That being said, watch out for the Colorado Rockies again. While both of these two teams finish for the wild card game, both could easily win the division. In Colorado's case, it's their lineup as usual. But if their pitching can continue their trend from last year of actually pitching in Coors Field, a lot will be gained for them. The San Francisco Giants are a weird case. I originally, before the season started, had them finishing third, maybe even second. But with freak injuries to Madison Bumgarner and other pitching staff players again, I don't see them finishing more than third, most likely fourth, as it's hard to replace those guys. San Diego could also finish fourth if the Giants really struggle again, but I think with so much talent in the West, while their rebuild is progressing strongly and Eric Hosmer will be a great player for them, they just lag behind the other teams. Until next time, Joe. See you then.